Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to episode 63 of the Casual Weebs podcast. Dude, this week was incredible. Things are really starting to pop off. They've been killing it. Like, this season has been very, very good. There hasn't been any, kind of dampers. You know, I feel like every season started strong and has just been following through. Some of them are getting 24 episodes, which is going to be pretty difficult. Because, I mean, we talked about it, the summer season is going to be, one of the greatest anime seasons of all time. Like, I don't think there's ever going to be a season that's going to be as deep as the summer season. Like, it is just all heavy hitters jam-packed into one. So any anime is like To Be Hero X that is getting 24 episodes this season is going to have to compete with that. So it is going to be an absolute mess, but I have just the utmost faith, especially in To Be Hero X. We got to dive into it and talk heavily about it this episode. Oh, the Easel finale happened, and it was good. But before that, boys, I gotta let you know, I'm telling you, dude. TikTok anime merch last part. We got the Kaiju 8 shirt.
Ooh.
Kaiju 8. We got some scenes in the 8. You ready for this back? By the way,
lay it on me.
Thick boys. It's soft. $25. Like, I'm telling you, the TikTok shop, you have to be careful. Look at the reviews and look at the sizing charts. But if you find some good shit, just heavy hitters.
Wow, bro, that is sick.
Dude, it's some good stuff, too. It's, really on there. I'm telling you, this is actually, real soft. It's real thick shit, dude. I'm absolutely loving it. I have to stop, though. I have to. 4 shirts, boys. 4 shirts in, 2 weeks. We're done. We're cut off.
Hey.
But I'm telling you, seriously, if you want good anime merch, TikTok shop does have some absolute sleepers. But speaking of To Be Hero X, we're also, guys, looking into chapters down below, talking about some other things today. Gotta say it, sleeper of the season, if we're gonna be talking about sleepers, Go Loser Ranger. I am so excited to get into that and to talk about that, but we gotta talk about 2 BRX first. First of all, jam-packed episode. Absolutely jam-packed to the brim. We had the finale of the Easel arc. I mean, we were kind of talking about, I brought up, alright, the manager got shot, did he die, though? Did he? Yeah, he's bro's dead.
Instantly confirmed it, brother. Started off at the funeral, looking at the casket.
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
And we find out it's low-key our boy's fault because he hesitated. I was like, yo, that's when you think about it, you can't really blame him because it's not like they were boys. You know what I mean? It's not like they were ever really friends. He always ever just looked at the manager as the guy getting in between him and the girl.
Yeah, they didn't know each other for very long, but you're right. They don't show us that in the end of the episode, right when the shooting takes place. But he does hesitate. And, it's not like he's been a hero long. This dude has had, he's kind of hard on himself. He doesn't have that much confidence. So, I can understand why he hesitated. And pretty tough to, well, I don't know if he was going to, take the bullet for him. He probably would have fared much better. But still,
well, it's also
that's a tough call.
It's not like he wanted him to die. He just had that moment of hesitation, you know what I mean? Where he, just didn't, it wasn't, intentional. It wasn't oh, no, fuck this guy. This is my opportunity to take him out of the picture. It was just, he just kind of, just... It just kind of happened. He just had a brain fart. He just hesitated. But we did realize, high-key, whose fault it was. What is this fucking twist? The cafe owner, the uncle dude, was the villain the whole time.
Uncle Rock, I think his name is?
Yeah. Dude, he was the villain the whole time. He was the guy behind the scenes. He was the guy calling the shots. What's up with that? I never saw that one coming.
I totally expected it to be Easel's manager trying to set it up. Because obviously, that was that was the simple foreshadow, but I should have known it, man. When he was charging three drinks for 2 handshakes, that man is diabolical.
Yeah, bro had to put up something. But that's the crazy thing is that when they exposed that, when they're all right, yo, the guy at the cafe who's running the cafe, he was actually behind it all. He actually kind of orchestrated the murder and all this other shit. It's dude, it's crazy because you thought that he was on our guy's side. You know what I mean? And he actually wanted him taken out. He's like, yeah, take out the imposter. You know what I mean? So it was crazy how, first of all, he was against our boy, Damsey, but also how he, switched and he flipped sides so quick because we had the Easel versus Easel showdown. I did not see that one coming. Old versus new, and fucking new won. What an insane fight. The animation and the art was phenomenal for this fight. I mean, To Be Hero X is
Incredible.
Just killing it when it comes to these fight scenes. But what a, I guess an ending to that, where it's both trust values they merged, so one of them had to have perished in this fight, and you're just like, what? Like, all right, well, who was it? Can't believe one of them actually died. It's not like, oh, they lost the fight, I guess they're just gonna retire type of shit. You know what I mean? And then you see our boy Victorious, in the smoke, and it's like, yo, that was so good, dude. It was so cool, so cool. Such a great episode.
Yeah, dude, incredible. The way they animated everything feels very different than like
Hmm.
the other scenes. You know what I mean? It does feel special, kind of different. I thought it was phenomenal. The fight was really sick, but I think you made a really good point. It is crazy how fast Uncle Rock switches up. My man
Hmm.
sets him up and like shows him the game tape and everything. So like once I saw that, I kind of had a feeling he would win, and then you get the scene with like the build up to his last move and like his trust values like falling and the new ESOL is rising. It was like really good, and it was also cool to see that like real time like exchanging of power. And obviously, like we've brought it up before, like it did matter. I feel like that was kind of the difference maker.
Well, yeah, and like the shop owner, like he has to be dying because like he was like the fun uncle, you know what I mean? The guy who was just like very helpful, very kind. He was just he was the MC's boy, you know what I mean? And then it was so cool when it showed that first panel of him where it was like him with like the piranhas, and he puts in like the raw meat, and he's in this suit, and he's like that pure just like villain, and you're just like, oh, oh, you know what I mean? It was like a total different side where like not only was it like an awesome twist where it's like, oh my god, I can't believe he was the guy pulling the strings the entire time. I can't believe he was just like puppeteering the shit, but like his new like design was just so good. I love that like villain aesthetic where it just like fit him so well, and he was just looking like fancy as shit. And I'm like, oh, like I kind of like the side of him. I'm just saying, like that part was actually pretty insane. But yeah, the way that the whole fight went down was absolutely incredible. Yeah, with you said with the trust values, it was such a good start, and it just like it's aged very well throughout this episode. Like it was paced very well. It evolved and developed very well, and then you kind of see him at the end. You see our new Easel at the window in the top 10. He was on like the ninth floor, and you see, or I guess the second floor, but really it's kind of like the ninth because number one's at the top, and the old dude just kind of goes up behind him and he's just like, all right, like you ready? You know what I mean? I was like, you fucking fraud! You were trying to get him killed the whole time. Like, what is this bullshit?
Dude, he was just playing the game. But you're
Hmm.
right, his like villain reveal was really, really badass. Goes from like, like a fishing shirt or like Hawaiian shirt, like fun, chill uncle vibes to being, yeah, like a straight up Bond villain at the top of the penthouse pretty much. But I thought you said it perfectly, like really, really well written. It's not always like easy to execute like an arc so quickly.
Hmm.
And like we brought this up before, each hero is only getting a few episodes. It's not like these guys have half a season to develop, a villain and a plot and everything. But I thought it was paced perfectly, like very, very quickly. Like really enjoyed these characters, and like the whole Isol finale thing was obviously incredible, but really, really well done with the pacing, which gives me like confidence that even as it bleeds into the summer season, people will still be on board because honestly, this shit is awesome.
Oh, they're killing it. Like each arc is absolutely incredible. I actually have theories on the next arc. Well, I mean, it's out.
Ooh.
Like you can go look at it and confirm it. I'm just taking a guess here, and without looking, we're gonna get into that in a second. But what did you think of the whole plot line with the girl, with the main girl, and how that ended? How did you feel about that?
I thought that was kind of interesting. Like, I feel like she didn't take it the same way the MC did. Like, he was pretty set on revenge, and like, it also meant more to him than, like, he's finally got trust value. He has like the chance to be a hero. I think that's like way bigger than any relationship he's gonna run into. You know what I mean? And like the whole concert and date type thing. Like, my man was focused on bigger goals. I feel like.
I wonder if she's gonna come back in some way because I don't know. I feel like okay.
Mm,
I feel like she kind of comes in and she kind of represents his true, pure like form. You know what I mean? Where
yes.
like he came into school muddy because he tripped trying to save a cat. Right? He's pretending to be Easel to put on a play for kids. Right? It's very like pure. It's very like innocent. It's very just like wow, it's such like a good fucking dude. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's the guy that she fell in love with. Obviously, that's what she said. She took notice to all of that. She's like, wow, like you've always been kind of like my hero. You know what I mean? And that's why she didn't want him to go down the path of revenge. Could her breaking off and kind of like not going with him and kind of she goes to the concert by herself, but then we also see that she's not there, like she leaves the concert, could that just be her kind of being like he's not that guy anymore, she's not with him because he's now a different dude, maybe he's more so in like in his villain arc or more of like an edgy type of character now because of kind of like what he's been going through, and like he kind of he looked up to Isol and he fucking killed him. You know what I mean? Like when you really think about that, like, that was his hero. That's why he like dressed up as the guy and like pretended to be him and like wanted to spread that love. And at the end of the day, like at the end of what a 3 episode arc, he killed the guy. Like that's not how I would have thought this would have went. You know what I mean? It kind of like takes his place. You know, does she kind of like her breaking off kind of just represent that? Oh yeah, he's just this different guy now, or is it also going to be like she kind of comes back as somebody else? You know what I mean? Are we going to see her kind of evolve into something else? Maybe I don't know. Taking a guess. This wasn't the guess I was talking about earlier, but is she going to come back as like a hero or something? You know what I mean? Is she going to try to find her own sense of justice or something like that?
That's a really good point. I never thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you make a good argument. Like, he's not really the same guy, that we were introduced to, that pure kind of like carefree kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
But he went through a lot. You know what I mean? You make a great point. He fucking killed Esau. That was like, and his sense of like his mantra. You know what I mean? They're all kind of like aligned, and we've heard that from other heroes, that kind of like, like you said, sense of justice.
Yeah.
I thought it was like pretty crazy. Yeah. And like the matter of a few days, he's seen somebody who like reaches out to help him kind of get started, get some trust value. This dude gets his head blown off. You know what I mean? And like he kind of sets out for revenge now that he has the capability to. Went through a lot, and then he's gonna basically kill his hero. I don't know that she was really willing to like ride it out with him. I can see how he's not the same guy, but he also went through some serious shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was chasing the bigger goal there, which I agree with. But yeah, very crazy, man. That was like pretty hard to understand. I could see her coming back later, but I guess it depends how deep into the characters' like lives they're gonna get.
Yeah.
Like later on in whatever, the end of this season and moving forward, which I'm not sure of, but that's a really good thought. Like she could come back as another hero, or still in a way like a relevant character.
I mean, I think that is kind of like far fetched because we already kind of have the cover art and we haven't seen her in there and shit like that. And who knows? I'm thinking that like season 1, like we know it's about the top 10, right? So we're gonna be introduced to the top 10, kind of get all their little arcs. Is season 2 gonna be a mash of everything? Could we see her then in season 2? Because I feel like we're not gonna have much crossover until a season 2. Which, by the way, reading the manhwa or manga after this, whatever it is, whatever the Chinese version is.
Oh yeah,
yeah, we're reading that after the season. That's guaranteed. So might do a video on
for
it.
Sure.
Might do a video. But
hell yeah,
that's definitely something that's gonna be really interesting. I think that at the end of the day, it just kind of like proved that like, hey, he's not that guy that we saw in the beginning of this arc. You know what I mean? And that's why she's kind of moving on and kind of leaving him, because it's not the same guy she fell in love with. I think in season 2, if we do see a lot more crossover and mashup, she makes a return. That would be very cool. But who I do think the next hero is, the next arc, is Lucky Cyan. So
my guy. Yes.
I don't know if they said it. I don't know if it was confirmed or talked about. But if we look at the cover art, right? There's 10 heroes in the top 10. Obviously, no shit. There's 10 characters on the cover. And Lucky Cyan is on the cover. You know what I mean? So I think that she might be a hero in the top 10. And we kind of got introduced to her. She was kind of brought up and talked about a lot. We kind of saw how famous she was. I mean, because when they were about to do the fight, right? Between the two Esauls, you see the city, and every fucking billboard is Lucky Cyan. You know what I mean? So she is extremely popular, which makes sense that if you have that many believers or followers or fans, that you're going to have a trust value that makes you a superhero in the top 10, whether you like it or not. And we saw the stadium that she was performing in, jam-packed. So I feel like she is in the top 10. Again, don't know if that's confirmed. And I think that it makes perfect sense to have her be the next arc, because it will kind of just roll into it perfectly. And again, you can just Google it. I'm pretty sure the release schedule of all 24 eps has been released already, with what characters are getting what arcs and when for how long. But
oh, word.
That's kind of my prediction, because I didn't look at that. Yeah. All I know is that the number 1 hero gets 1 episode at the very end of the season. That's all I know.
Okay, sick. Yeah, I'm hyped to see him, but I agree with you. I think it was foreshadowed pretty heavily this episode that it's going to be Lucky Cyan. Like, yeah, it was basically confirmed for me when you see how big that stadium is, and they give you that quick glimpse of like, basically Times Square, and it's all her like ads and her songs and stuff. And you make the perfect point, like, even if she didn't want to be a hero, when you have that kind of massive following, take like, Taylor Swift, for example, you have that like kind of influence and following, you are kind of a hero. You don't really have a choice. And, we don't really know what she stands for, if she like really cares that much. Maybe she just wants to be a rock star type thing. So it'll be interesting to see how they write her character. But I feel like as far as like pace and flow, that's like the perfect way to move into your next character, your next arc, your next hero. But I feel like this was way different than Nice. So they've done a good job of keeping us on our toes. So I'm like, I really don't know what to expect. I think, like a non-typical hero, like, yeah, a rock star, an idol, or whatever you want to call it. I think that would be like a really good and another very different way to move forward.
Yeah, and I mean, she looks like Hatsune Miku, and everyone loves her. So I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like she's just gonna be like a fan favorite for a lot of people as well. So making her a hero, giving her an arc, I feel like is gonna make people go absolutely insane, and it would be like a smart move. And again, she like is on the front page, so like it would make sense that she's like on the top 10. And I'm interested to see where she lies. Are we going in order? Because like I said, the number one guy is apparently the last episode, right? He's at the top of the tower. And Nice is still at number 10, right? I don't think they ever confirmed or kind of like said where he ended at because like he lost his trust value and then gained it back. So we saw that Isol, the new Isol, is at number 9. So we could be going in reverse order. So we started at number 10 for Nice, we're at number 9 for Isol. Are we at number 8 next? You know what I mean? So is Lucky Cyan going to be number 8? Or what's kind of happened that way? Either way, like you said, did not feel like Nice's arc. You know what I mean? I feel like it was really interesting, really intriguing, really gripping. We kind of speculated that we are going to get a bunch of different heroes, a bunch of different personalities. Maybe some of them aren't going to necessarily be good guys, right? Especially because what we kind of just talked about is whether you want to be a hero or not, if you have the following and the fan base, you're kind of thrown into it, whether you like it or not. You know what I mean? You're kind of given that trust value, given that power, and we saw with Nice especially that you are kind of forced to do what you want to do, which I'm surprised we didn't see that necessarily in this arc. The way that fans can completely force you to do something, you know what I mean? It was more so the manager telling Isol, like, hey, everyone wants to see this one attack, do the fucking attack, or they're not going to believe in you, you know what I mean? Or with Nice, we were seeing that he was physically unable to leave, you know what I mean? Because fans didn't want him to leave. So it's going to be interesting moving forward. The personalities of some of the heroes we have are some of them going to be good guys, some of them bad guys. We did see that our guy Isol isn't bad, but now he's a bit edgier. You know what I mean? And then also how the interactions are kind of gonna go moving forward. With how fans view them and kind of control them. So I'm really interested moving forward. I think it's gonna be awesome. Looking at the cover, there is some fucking badass looking heroes coming up. So I'm really excited.
Dude, absolutely. Like I'm literally looking at the cover now, and
Mm-hmm.
Lucky Cyan is at the very top. Like she has a pretty big spot on the cover, and
Yeah.
then just like there's different pictures. The IMBD, she's also like pretty much at the top. So I feel like you're right. She will be kind of like a fan favorite or like a very influential character, more so than like Nice and Isol. You're right.
Yeah.
Like Isol may have changed a little bit with this whole debacle, whatever you want to call it. Like I'm sure they still have fans, but like I feel like moving forward, the characters are going to be obviously on a different level. That's why they're ranked the way they are. But you could, I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing off the, like the cover and the imagery and stuff. But that stuff is usually pretty important in the grand scheme of things. I mean, the number one hero is pretty much
Front and center.
plastered all over. Yeah, exactly. Like he's plastered all over everything, so it would make sense.
And that's what's kind
Um,
of crazy is that Isol is like kind of like low key hidden in the cover, so it kind of shows that he might not play like the biggest role. You know what I mean? Because he's
and then
kind
you
of
have
like
that
tucked in
like
there.
yeah, and you have that like assassin looking character with like the black outfit and the white hair. Like,
Oh, and like the gold mask. I don't know if you guys you guys
oh,
gotta check out the cover. Like these characters really do look fucking tough. You're right. That assassin character looks so. The purple hair dude also looks really really cool. He kind of reminds me of the guy from My Hero Academia. And dude, he was the best. Like he was such a good character, dude. The queen chick next to Lucky
yeah.
Cyan. Dude, I am so excited for her. She, I think, is number 2. I've seen not only is her like design like really really cool, which is why I'm excited to see her. I'm seeing like little teasers from like animations. I don't know if it's like fan made, but I think it's like from overseas they have other teasers and trailers out that we don't necessarily have. And dude, some of the scenes that she's in look so cool. Like I feel like that's a character that's gonna be aura farming nonstop. Like it's gonna be their entire arc, and I hope she gets like a 4 episode arc. That'd be amazing.
Dude, heck yeah. She has a really, really cool design. But at the same time, like it'll be cool to see how they like lay these characters out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because like even just us talking about it, you have a lot of different vibes. You have like the pink haired character, some assassin-looking dude. Basically Hatsune Miku's design. Like, it's kind of all over the place, which I think sets you up well for a lot of diversity within like your main cast.
Yeah. So, pretty much, we're excited. We hope you guys are excited for next week. Because that's the thing. Next week is the start of a brand new arc. Like, that's going to be awesome. Like, I'm so excited. But, like, you kind of said, which kind of, like, throws me off. Lucky Cyan, I don't think she's going to be the next one. Because if we are going in order from number 10, number 9, number 8, if she really is that famous and she's, like, literally at the top and all over all, like, the advertising and marketing, is she really going to be the number 8 hero? You know what I mean? She could be like number 4 or 5.
That's what I was thinking. She might be like number 3, 4, 5, like higher up. Like to just kind of keep us on our toes. I feel like it's been hard to predict anything in this arc. And people getting blasted and killed all the time. I mean, you never know. Like, you really never know what's gonna happen.
Can we stop having people get shot in the head, man? Like,
so gruesome, dude. I love
6 episodes. That's all we've had. Every episode is shot in the head. Shot in the head. Like, brother,
It'd be cool to kind of see like what villains too, and like what antagonists they introduce for each of these heroes. Because I mean, even Isol wasn't like it was like a bad guy or a villain. It was basically just another hero taking his spot, which is like the hierarchy of being a hero.
Yeah.
Which we have kind of seen so far.
Yeah, I mean that is gonna be like really cool. And another villain, quote unquote villain, was Enlighter. You know what I mean? And he's been awesome. He's been kind of playing both sides. Like, this anime is great because there's a lot of gray areas. It's not so, like, black and white. You know what I mean? It's not so, like, necessarily, oh, he's good guy, he's bad guy type of thing. Which has been a lot of fun because, I mean, a lighter kind of playing both sides and kind of being on that fence has been really cool. Because we have those moments where it's like, yes, Enlighter's getting his ass beat, let's go. But then other times where it's like, yo, Enlighter came to save the day. I hope he somehow makes his way close to the top 10. That would be sick. But if I have to give my prediction, let me know yours. I know we can just Google it, and it's bullshit, and it is what it is. Oh, by the way, I gotta bring up another thing. First of all, who do you think is going to be the next arc?
I'm watching
Don't look
like
it up.
The official. No, I watched the official trailer, and the way it lays it out, she is not next. She would be 7th, and it's like the dog. Like, think like the vibe.
Next?
Yeah, like the what am I trying to say here? It's like the film noir, like comic style kind of like visuals. Like, that would be very, very different than what we've gotten so far. Yeah, the other characters are very sick. And I'm not saying this is like how they're ranked, you know what I mean? But it was nice. And then Isol, so like I don't know if this is the top 10, but it's kind of looking that way. So maybe the dog next, and then Lucky Cyan.
Damn, I hope it's the assassin guy. I know we could just look it up. So there's no point in, like,
he's
guessing,
way up, brother.
But the assassin dude would be cool. Here's the other thing I got to bring up. Here's an important thing. I don't know if this is true. Remember how I told you that they're doing you can vote on who's your favorite, and it's like the IRL version of the Trust Factor in the top 10.
Yes.
And we were like, oh, we should like look into that, but it's like all in Chinese. We can't fucking understand it and figure it out. Yeah, apparently I don't know if this is true. I hope it isn't. Apparently that actually affects the anime. So the anime season 1 is set in stone, but based on people's voting dictates what's going to happen to the characters based on who's your favorite and who's your least favorite. So
Which would be tough.
That would be crazy.
You think like somebody like Nice or Isol, 11 weeks from now, unless they like keep them in the story and in the mix, like it'll be really interesting to see how they kind of like keep these characters relevant. If they're like, yep, nobody likes Nice anymore, see you, bro. Yeah. And they like write them off, which would be diabolical.
Dude, like I have to look up like the manga or whatever it is to see like exactly how far it is. But do they pretty much write season 1 and be like, okay, we're just gonna have the fans interact, do the voting, and then that's gonna dictate what happens to people or how strong these characters are or aren't. You know what I mean? That would be incredible. But because of that, I don't think that that's the case because they probably have a lot of the story already written. I feel like it's just kind of like they had fun with like, hey, just vote your favorite character, that type of thing, and someone's like, oh yeah, totally, this is gonna affect the anime, and it's like, is it?
That's true. They're probably basing it. I mean, they do use CGI, so it could be that they're not necessarily just going panel for panel and animating it. Yeah. But again, I'm not 100% sure. I think that would be sick, but in a way, like I don't know, it could be something for the future. Like they're trying to like get, in a way, fan interaction every week, which I think, or viewer interaction, whatever you want to call it. Same thing, I guess. But that would be sick. I mean, maybe in a way it gives like a survival show feel, or like Survivor or whatever survival show you want to call it. I immediately thought of like K-pop shit naturally. But like, I could see somebody doing that in the future. Like, you're obviously not going to do that with a show like, One Piece or like Jujutsu Kaisen or like your
Hmm.
typical shonen. But I feel like this just even it's just a good ass anime. In a way, it kind of opens up like possibilities for different styles and different ways to interact with it, other than just a video game or the anime itself.
Yeah. So don't know if it's true. We gotta do some research into it, guys. Hopefully, we can find something. I think it's just bro science. I think it's just someone just saying it because they think it. But I think that would be cool, like you said, in the future moving forward. But let's talk about another anime that's been killing it. One that I think is definitely sleeper of the season, and that is Go Go Loser Ranger. That has been phenomenal, phenomenal. So let's kind of
Ooh.
kick back to the beginning here. Our boy got signed onto the Green Squad. Honestly, kind of surprised. I didn't think that he would. I thought that he would end up maybe on like Pink. I think he would be on the Pink Squad because like his doppelganger or the guy he's pretending to be sister is the Pink Ranger.
Yes. Okay. So I got that mixed up. Yeah. No. 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 She's the pink.
Yeah,
She's
she's
not
the
the
Pink
pink.
Ranger.
Yeah, she is. Okay. She's the one in the wheelchair.
Yep. Well, she pretends to be in the wheelchair, but
I
then when she
almost
comes to
called her
Pink,
disabled, and I'm like, yeah, obviously she's not disabled. You know what I mean?
yeah,
She's the
like
pink.
well, I don't know. Well, okay, well, is she? Because here's the thing. I thought that she
Wow.
was bullshit, right? Because like because the one guy, the original dude who's his actual her little brother, always seen her in the wheelchair. There's an accident when they're kids, so she actually could be like medically, not able to like use her legs or be like paralyzed from waist down. Makes sense. But when she's the Pink Ranger, she's able to get up and run and do everything else, and she's not in a wheelchair. Is that because she's the Pink Ranger? Or was she always faking it to not tell her brother that, hey, this is who I am? Because, and this is why I reason I bring it up, the Green
Ooh.
Ranger is a different person when he transforms. He said it after the school fight where the blonde hair girl, the first like lieutenant, was like she said one of his lines back. He's like, "Yo, stop saying the shit I said when I'm a ranger. That's just embarrassing." Like he can't control it. Like when he becomes the ranger, it becomes a different persona. It's kind of like a different person in a way. You know what I mean? So I
And
don't
like,
know.
I don't want to jump too far ahead, but like, just to kind of like respond to what you were saying, when he figures out it's Suzukiri and Sakurama, or like
Hmm.
the Fighter D version of him, he's like, oh, I'm a bit disappointed, but like, yeah, you're just like a regular fighter. Like, you absolutely don't matter to me. Like Chidori would never say that. You know what I mean? He's definitely not that kind of person. So you make a good argument that like their personas could be different, or excuse me, that's like the reason his sister is able to be the Pink Ranger. She transforms and is able to,
Yeah.
be at 100%, so to speak. We really haven't gotten that much into it, but like I feel like the build up for these last like 3 or 4 episodes was crazy.
Oh, dude, it's been insane, and I cannot wait. Before you move on to get to that arc, I think the Pink Keeper is going to be later down the line, just simply because I feel like it's going to be when her actual little brother gets involved again and gets brought back into the picture. He's always been on the sideline, kind of doing his own investigation, trying to find his justice. That's why they split up in the beginning. He's like, hey man, you just pretend to be me, go infiltrate the academy type of shit, right? So I feel like we're gonna see hers a bit later. I feel like if anything, we're probably gonna go to Yellow next, is my guess. But I think that that's gonna be like a cool thing that we figure out because it's like yeah, like can she move around because she's the Pink Ranger? Because the other thing is she hasn't told her little brother. It's not like he knows. So like she could just be keeping it a secret and just being in the wheelchair to like stay hidden. You know what I mean? But some of them actually do hide their identities. The Green Ranger always hid his identity. I'm pretty sure the Blue did too. Pink seems to be doing the same. Red's the only one who's like, "What's up, motherfuckers? Like it's me." And he's an
Yeah.
egotistical piece of shit. You know what I mean? He's the one we're all waiting to die. Well, we all want to die. So goddamn bad. I cannot wait. Oh, dude, I hate that he's gonna be last because it's gonna be the most satisfying shit when he finally goes down. I need his ass beating soon. But yeah, let's get into it. Going to this first boss, I feel like it is really cool. He joins the Green Squad and he pretty much gets like told, "Hey, here's the secret. We're actually in charge of hunting down the bosses." Cool squad, by the way. Green Squad, by far the coolest. You're literally just on a secret mission to just hunt down and kill the bosses. Meanwhile, everyone else just plays pretend and just does random bullshit, pretending to be like, oh my god, we're superheroes, right? Like, they actually do the groundwork. They're like the special forces of the Rangers.
Just to like again respond to what you said, like you would think, yeah, Sakurama would be a Pink Ranger because his sister, or a Pink Squad because his
Yeah.
sister's a Pink Ranger. But we learn in the restaurant that the Green Squad reports all the like secret information and top information to the Pink Squad.
Mm-hmm.
So like there might be something, behind the scenes at play there.
And that's what's like really cool is that all the squads that you thought were badass are actually just for show. They're just fluff. They're just kind
The
of
Red
pathetic.
is the other guy who they were talking about being like the next in line for the Red Ranger. That guy's so annoying and so corny. He's already
Yeah.
like lost a couple fights. Like I think that is funny though. You're spot on with that.
You think in the beginning is blue and red that are the badasses that are sick that are like what's up, but actually it's the complete opposite. Like Green's the ones who actually does the dirty work, who actually does the investigation, does the fighting, and kills the bosses. Then they report to Pink. Pink is like the intelligence of the whole thing. They're the one moving all the pieces, delivering the intel, and pretty much running the show. They are the brains, and then you have Yellow, who is like development. They're the badasses that are just getting the equipment, getting like ready, inventing new shit, fixing stuff up, and then getting Green equipped to just handle business. And then again, you just have like in Blue and Red, just kind of sitting there, playing idle. It's like, what are you doing? Like, get off the stage. Like, stop playing pretend. Actually do something, bro. It's insane. Never would have expected it.
No, and like that's why I love the show. It's super well written and kind of
Mhm.
like keeps you guessing. Like you really don't know what to expect, and it takes a few episodes for it to build up. Like we haven't talked about it in a couple weeks, but between the school arc and fighting another boss monster to this point where they try to kill Chidori, the Greenkeeper, like there is a lot that happens, but it takes a couple episodes for this arc to like run its course. But dude, really good. And I was not really expecting it to play out the way it did, but I think for story's sake, it's nice. It didn't feel like there was plot armor for the main character and everything.
Oh, it never does.
But
But
like,
he's so weak in so many, instances where it's like, come on, bro. Like, I thought you'd be strong at this point.
yes, you're like constantly waiting for it. But like the fallout of the end of that last most recent episode is going to be crazy.
Like, it's incredible. And that's the cool thing is, like, not only is this, like, action-packed, it's, like, a really good story with great twists, it's so, like, dramatic as well. Because, first of all, we had, he's a part of the Green Squad. We end up finding the truth about some of the squads and stuff. They end up going and doing some investigating, right? We meet the, private investigator, right? The public servant, right, per se. They go and investigate the school, and there's a boss there. Awesome, we're already getting into another boss fight. We end up learning that there's 5 bosses left, I'm pretty sure, right? So, like, we have, like,
Yeah,
quite a hit list to get through with, like, the 5 bosses and then the other keepers that are left. You know what I mean? So there's quite a bit of fighting, which is awesome because the fight scenes I feel like are really well done in this anime. I really enjoy them. So we're doing this investigation, and I feel like it's really, really cool because they're in a constant loop. And when you break the rules of the school, it resets, which, by the way, would drive me fucking insane, especially with fucking Fighter D, who has never been to school and keeps violating every fucking rule. It's like, brother, like, I just want to get through a day. Can you imagine reliving the same day, like, 90 times because someone, like, won't shut the fuck up in class, or is late, or kicks a vending machine? It's like, dude, I'm gonna kill you. I'm surprised they didn't. But like that was so cool, and with each day progressing, we end up learning and figuring out more. But also we start losing some of the allies because the one girl with the two different color eyes, she ends up kind of falling under its spell per se, where now she becomes a part of the school. So I feel like the whole idea behind that and behind the actual boss himself was so cool and made for such an interesting arc, which then led up to one of the most badass fights we've seen in the anime so far.
yeah, that arc was super cool, and like the brainwashing of the students, I thought was like an interesting take on it. And then you had like the what was his name, Gatto or Gatto?
Yeah.
He like the big buff teacher dude. Like he was a human who just was like buying into it. You know what I mean? I thought that was like really interesting. But yeah, I would definitely want to off myself if I had to relive school every day. And then they end up using that to their advantage and like
Yeah.
constantly keep breaking the rules and stuff, which I thought was like really well done for kind of short arc. But yeah, leading up to the fight with the Greenkeeper, which was insane. And like I thought it was kind of funny how like they in a way say like Suzukiri really didn't plan this out. Like, does she really know what she's doing? And yeah, they basically get folded up.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Like, when the Green Keepers, reveal, that was awesome. I never expected it to be that, like, investigator. That was so cool. And I was just like, dude, how did I see that one coming? Like, that was awesome. That twist was fucking incredible. We have the badass fight. They kind of break out of it. And then what's really cool is that everyone turned on them. They ended up becoming hated because they're like, hey, like, we actually like that. Our lives kind of suck. So being able in this to like live in this fantasy delusion where everything's great was actually great, and then you guys broke that. So that was crazy how well, especially Fighter D, because like he's still learning a ton. You know what I mean? He's a kind of like a child mentally, where he's like trying to like he's learning so many different things where he thought people would be appreciative of him kind of coming in and saving the day, but they're actually like, no, you fucking blow. And I think it kind of got him to like understand the keepers a little bit or kind of feel for them. It was kind of a side where like they actually weren't glamorized per se.
Yeah, it's interesting, and like he's kind of been battling that whole like juxtaposition of like his values, and basically
Mm-hmm.
that's what the Green Ranger tells him. Like, you should have at least figured out like who your enemy is, and he's obviously got a chance, and he tries to like blow himself up with all the TNT, and
Mm-hmm.
then the first thing he thinks about is Chidori's family, and he's like, like dude, come on. So I thought that was super interesting too. Like
Mm-hmm.
he can sense the hesitation in Fighter D, who, yeah, basically can't figure out his moral compass, whether he wants to be good or evil.
No, so that's what's so cool about like waiting a little bit and like having a couple episodes to talk about, because I was sitting there and after the previous episode I was like, dude, is Fighter D gonna go after the Green Ranger? Because we know he hates the Red Ranger. We can see why he'd want to kill him. The Blue Ranger he didn't really want to kill. We kind of got his backstory. I learned who he was during the final fight. You know what I mean? And that's when Fighter D was kind of like, "Yo, I actually like and respect you. Like, this is crazy. I actually don't want to kill you, but I'm gonna do it like out of respect. You know what I mean? It was gonna be like a respectful thing, and it was gonna be a thing out of honor. You know? And then I was like, we actually got to meet and get to know the Green Ranger without knowing it was the Green Ranger. Like, is he gonna like be like, "Hey, I'll save you for last," or like, I'll put a bookmark in this one. You know what I mean? Like we'll come back to this later. I wasn't sure if he was actually gonna go after him, and then he did. You know what I mean? We ended up finding out that yeah, he's got a family. That was such a surprise. I was like, dude, every 5 minutes there was like a twist and a little something where it was like, dude, I didn't expect that at all. Our girl Susie Kiri is back. I'm gonna butcher that name 1,000 times. I think she's awesome. She's a fucking psychopath and a badass. Finally someone who's like actually has some firepower on their side. Everyone knew it was her. She didn't hide really. I don't know why she wore a mask or different clothes because she used her remote, you know what I mean, which gave her away. Like everyone knew it was her. Even the one girl who starts beating up on the one blue squad member was kind of like, oh my god, wait, it's her from the force field. But here's what I want to talk about. When she's choking the one girl and the girl recognizes her, she said, "People experience things worse than death since they can't die." I'm like, can she not
Yes.
die? Because we know that something's up with her, right? But she's collecting the divine artifacts and she's doing something with them. She's on Fighter D side. She's like, yes, let's kill the Rangers. Why?
I thought she was talking about monsters, like the monsters that constantly regenerate and they can't really die, which I guess with the divine artifacts they can, so maybe that's not who she was talking about herself, but yeah, it was kind of like mysterious. I took it as she was talking about the monsters being able to regenerate is correlated to that, but
I think she
now
was
I'm
talking
thinking it might
about
be wrong.
both. I don't think that she's a fighter because obviously she's not fodder. You know what I mean? So she's not going to be one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, every fighter is just garbage. They're just really bad at fighting, and she clearly has a lot of experience and a lot of fighting power that wouldn't equate to being a fighter. So that's what made me think. I'm like, is she one of the bosses? You know what I mean? Or here, this will be crazy. Is it like a Bleach moment? Because with Bleach, you have the Soul Reapers, and then you have the Hollows, and we're like, all right, cool, two different beings that are fighting. And then they kept introducing new like kind of like species. We had like the bounce and shit like that. I'm like, is she gonna introduce something else? Because I think, don't quote me on this. This could be complete bullshit. I'm pretty sure we kind of learned in the beginning that there's these kind of like gods, the dragons, right? That the keepers, kind of were like, hey, can we have some power, please? And they're like, yeah, sure. And that's where the divine artifacts come from. It's actually like a religious type of thing. Could she be related to that? Could that be what she's
Ooh.
related to? Not necessarily the fighters, not necessarily the rangers, but this third kind of like presence. You know what I mean? Because there's something up with her where she definitely has beef with both the bosses and the rangers, just like Fighter D does. So I'm wondering what's up. And when she was talking about, yeah, some things are worse than dying because some things can't die. Yeah, I think she was talking about the monsters, but I also think she was talking about herself. I don't think that she can die.
It'll be interesting. Like, I really don't know. That was definitely a huge twist.
Mm-hmm.
So at the same time, like, it'll be interesting to see how we progress in this next episode if they keep going with, like, because basically the Green Ranger busted them up with very little to no effort. It's like punched in the face once, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, does he kill both of them? I don't really think so. I take it as like he's gonna rat them out. Say like, yeah, Suzukiri and Sakurama tried to kill me, and Sakurama's a monster. Because they obviously can't take him down, or that's what he thinks. But like, I'm not quite sure how it moves forward. Because if they lose, like, they're gonna have to be on the run. That's gonna make the whole aspect of infiltration completely useless
Well, going back to
if he
Suzukiri,
does.
my part of what makes me think of all that too is that why else would she want the divine weapons? She has no like indication of what she'd do with them, so I feel like that's why she is a part of like that third kind of essence, like the dragons, because like that makes sense why she'd want that back. She could feel entitled to it, where like you guys don't deserve it. You're a bunch of fucking frauds. Give me my people shit back.
And they're basically using it to like entertain people in like a Saturday cartoon type element.
Yeah.
And Fighter D does ask her like why the fuck do you even want the divine artifacts anyway? What are you gonna do with them?
Mm-hmm.
And like I think this is just her like coy personality. She's always like keeping her intentions hid. She's like, oh, I just want to collect them. I wouldn't do anything with them.
Yeah.
So that actually like does lean into your point of her, maybe being this like celestial or whatever, like
Or
these
being
dragons.
connected, or being like connected in some way. But going back to what you said, I don't think he cares. I mean, so the Green Ranger already defeated them, and he said he's not going to kill them. He knew Fighter D was a monster since day one. Not since day one, but since the school. So he said that remember that lizard, the green eye thing or whatever it's called. He put it.
Gatia, the boss.
No.
Oh no
The
no no!
little
The
gecko he
Greed
had.
Eye or whatever.
Yeah. He put.
His like names for all his little gadgets.
Yeah.
I can't remember them all, but yeah,
He put that
like,
gadget on Fighter D. He knew he was a fighter the whole time. So that's what he said. That's why he said he was disappointed in him. Not that he was a fighter, that he hesitated to kill him. He's like, you don't even know who your enemy is. At least have the respect to know who you're fighting against. He's like, why'd you hesitate against me? Why are you doing this whole speech? Just blow yourself up. Like, are you trying to save my family? He's like, come on, I'm your enemy, aren't I? And that's why he's disappointed. And the blonde-haired girl, not Shuzukiri, but the other one, the first lieutenant, she also knows because she was conscious of everything that was going on during the school thing, and she saw him transform. So she also knows he's a fighter. His secret's out, and I don't think anyone's gonna tell because Green Keeper would have killed him already if he actually gave a shit, and he even said that. He's like, dude, you're a fighter. You're absolute
I don't
dog
give
shit.
a fuck.
He's like,
Dude, it pisses him off so bad too. He's like, absolutely furious about it. That was a cold ass line. That whole speech from the Green Ranger was super tough, and he's exactly right. Like, if this is your mission, you got to carry it out. He's like, don't tell me you have like human morals and you're worried about hurting innocent people. Like, cut me a break. He's like, don't say that to me. Like, yeah, that's tough.
I feel like Green Ranger low-key related to Fighter D in a way. Because his whole thing is like going incognito, you know what I mean, investigating, and he's like, well, a fighter actually did that. Fighter D is like the Green Ranger of the fighters in a way. You know what I mean? Where he kind of like infiltrates the academy. He's probably like really interested. Like, oh, why is he doing this? What's he up to? What's he looking for? You know what I mean? And when he found out, he's like, oh, this is just a letdown. It's a guy who doesn't even know who he's fighting against, who's fighting for. You know what I mean? He's just kind of going along. But I'm really excited to see what he thinks about Suzukiri because he was surprised. He didn't know until he saw her with the remote. And he's like, oh, Suzukiri? Course it's you. So hopefully he also knows more about what she's up to with the divine artifacts and we get more into that. But I don't think he's ratting on shit. I don't think he cares. And I think now Fighter D's position in the Green Squad is just set. Like, he's fine because everyone knows in the Green Squad who the fuck he is and just doesn't care. Which is kind of fucked.
Yeah, but like it makes me think they know more about, like you said, what Suzukiri's after and like kind of like the broader picture that we don't know. Like as viewers, because yeah, I mean, even Hisui, like the first lieutenant, she easily could have killed him.
Yeah,
she easily could kill Sakurama or Fighter D. And like now that I don't know, what is that? The 18th episode. So we're 18 episodes in, ton of content. There's been multiple people that agree with Fighter D and kind of feel the same way he does. The girl who sides with the first boss monster, Sakurama, Suzukiri on the yellow team. Obviously, Hisui and Chidori don't really give a fuck. I mean, part of that is that he's powerless. You know what I mean? Fighter D is still relying on like the blade arm technique
Yeah.
that he's never killed anybody with. So like that's part of it, but yeah, like I think the next episode and the fallout from this will kind of give us a better picture of people's motivations or feelings
Well,
towards him.
well, especially when it comes to like the first lieutenants and the rangers. I think part of them kind of side with Fighter D because they see firsthand what a piece of shit the Red Ranger is. Like he's just so fucking awful. I mean, how many times has he killed somebody
Yeah,
right in front of everybody? Just at brunch, just at
at
brunch,
least
just
two or
going out.
three.
Yeah, like it's insane. And it's like gruesome. It's like horrible. It's not like like swift deaths. Like it's him bashing them through a wall, and then he just like it just cuts to them, and he's covered. His face is covered in blood. There's blood all over the back wall. It's like Jesus Christ, and
Yeah,
everyone's just sitting there like this guy again. You fucking psychopath. Like go get
just gotta
therapy.
take it.
Like
Yeah,
fucking for real, this guy's so mentally unwell. So they're probably like, "Yo, Fighter D, like we're kind of rooting that you kill this guy, but like, yeah, you don't got the firepower, bro. We need the training arc. We need him to get a bit stronger." But so many questions, so many things that were answered, but so many things still up in the air. I want to know who Suzukiri is. If she's related to anything, I don't think she's just a normal human being. I feel like there's way more to that. I want to know more about the Green Ranger. I want to know more what's going on with these divine artifacts. There's so much we got to get into, and that's what I love about this anime. Goku Loser Ranger, I swear to God, really is the sleeper of the season, mainly because it's a Hulu exclusive, but Season 1 was phenomenal. Season 2 has been nothing but fucking incredible. Like, I feel like when you talked about, you need the first couple episodes to kind of get the ball rolling, that was really more the first season, and even then, it was still solid. It's got a lot of really nice moments and good moments. I feel like Season 2 hit the ground running, and it's just been in a full sprint since. It's been amazing.
yeah, dude, it's really, really good, and I hope like it stays, popular because I feel like
Mm,
people are into it. It is kind of a sleeper, compared to some of the other bigger titles, but
yeah.
dude, it's been so good. I've really enjoyed it, and hopefully, yeah, like these next couple episodes, we get a little further into the story and like maybe some of the bigger aspects. But dude, such a good show. I love it.
Yeah, I cannot wait for a couple more weeks where we can talk more about it. Because it is one of the ones where you do want to wait a couple of weeks in between talking about it because it has a lot of build up. There's a lot of things that happen. It's like very action packed, right? But it takes a lot of plot lines, like a couple of episodes. But they taper them, you know what I mean? So like an episode you're gonna have like two plot lines that are kind of like concluded or like things that are like questions that are answered, but then like four more questions are gonna pop up. You know what I mean? So there's always so much being answered and then so much like you're wondering. So that's why it's just like, yo, it's amazing. I cannot wait to talk about it in a couple more weeks though, because it's I feel like it's gonna go into the end of the season strong, and I'm really excited about that.
I totally agree. I think it's really going to heat up, especially with like this most previous episode. So if we're
Mm-hmm.
going to 24, we only have a few left. I think it's going to be sick, man. I think it's really going to pop off, and we'll either run into another boss monster or the conclusion of this Green Ranger arc. So either way, I think it's
Does
going to
he
be
kill him?
huge.
Yeah, does he kill the Green Ranger? Like, is that actually gonna happen?
It would have to be like on the sneak. You know what I mean? He obviously
Yeah.
can't overpower him, but maybe they take another crack at it and actually like plan it out and plot it out this time.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see like how they write it. But you're right, it does take a couple episodes for these like plot lines, pace wise to develop. But yeah, there's a ton that happens action wise in the episode.
Yeah. So it's gonna be incredible. Let's get into Fire Force. Fire Force with another amazing week, in my opinion. Like, it is confirmed, boys. It was Benny Morrow. We
Yeah,
did
I
get
was
the
dying, dude.
confirmation.
And it's like one of the first things in the episode too. The lady's like, ah, yes, the clothes, the voice.
Hmm.
That's you, Benny Maru of the Seventh. And it's like, what like line did he want me to say? None of that made any sense. It was like completely unapplicable.
He's like,
I
just a
forget what he
moment.
says. Just a moment. It's like, what? Like, what are we doing? It fucking does not matter.
And
That shit
Benny
was
Morrow
really
doesn't give a
funny.
shit either. He's like, dude, do I have to say the line? He's like, do I have to wear the mask? Like, everyone knows. It's like, dude, part it the other way. Just do the. It's like, yeah, dude, you got him.
Had me fooled, brother.
Dude,
Yo, but
yeah.
for like how much the White Clad knows about him,
Mhm.
they were like shocked. I think like they totally expected to like beat his ass right there. Come on, come on.
Well, I think it was pretty shocking how he wasn't really able to beat their ass. You know what I mean? Like they kept talking about like, I love how Joker's like, all right, let me step up here. Joker wasn't ready to leave. He's like, me and Benny Mar are gonna fucking dominate, dude. Like that's the duo. Like when it's like when you and your bro play like a game or like hop in the lobby, like in Warzone or Fortnite or whatever the fuck it is, like that is the duo. That's the duo you don't want
Hell yeah.
any business with. So I love how he was kind of like, dude, it's like stop playing with them. You know what I mean? But like Benny Mar started to kind of like turn it on, but like couldn't really do too much damage. He even said, he's like, oh, we got some like actual legit fighters here. Like this is insane. That I think is just foreshadowing some of the most badass fights at the end of the season. Like I'm talking about like some Infinity Castle kind of fights from like Demon Slayer. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking about some fights because those villains looked incredible. I mean, the dragon dude looked absolutely insane. Like there's a lot that is like really gonna be ramping up, and I feel like we're really gonna kind of get into this season. Also this season, it doesn't seem like it's just going to be badass fights. What's really, really cool is that, first of all, we kind of got a little bit more on the pillars. I think Shinra has always been known as a pillar. His brother has. And then she talked about it. They're like, oh, all went according to your plan. She's like, yeah, we had all the pillars for the first time in one place. And it seems like the eighth pillar actually was that thing that spawned in, is what it seems like. And took the first guy. I forget his name.
Yeah, the Infernal that
Burns.
gets Burns.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think we've always known Shinra and Sho, but I can't remember all the other names. But you're right.
They
What would
listed
the eighth
them.
pillar be?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
listed them.
remember who all the names are, but yeah, I guess that was like her point to like put all the pillars in the same place.
Yeah, but that's what leads into the convent. That looked so cool. The what is it, Area 5? That captain ended up kind of going to the
Yeah,
convent, kind of going back to it. First of all, we kind of got some like clues into kind of what's going on. So they move the altar, right? They go underneath and they see, oh, there's 8 pillars here. Convenient. We're really kind of getting more into the pillars, and then it starts kind of talking about more of the experimentation. They were all named after like plants or like flowers, right? And it talks, it's like very creepily done where they're talking about the garden and growing plants, and they end up kind of realizing that they were the plants that were being farmed. Pretty much it was the people, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, the plants that we actually have out back. He's like, no, like we are it. And that kind of alludes or kind of leads into what we were talking about last week with Sister Iris. We're like, yo, Sister Iris was the one that blocked that shot from Dragon, and she looked very like different. And even the science guy was like, yo, like what the fuck was that? You know what I mean? We're like, dude, does she have like some hidden power or something up with her? Now we're finding out that this convent was experimenting on the people there. There's a lot of shit going down. It's really creepy, very like, what is going on? And Iris and the captain of the 5th district, they're the only two that are still alive. So I think that there's a ton going on there that we're about to find out. I cannot wait to dive into that little arc, that little plot line, because that's going to be incredible. And I want to know what's up with Sister Iris. I want to know, like, how is she so powerful, and when are we going to see more of that?
yeah, I'm sure it'll wait to the end because I feel like the buildup is going to be the majority of this season.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're going to like really start diving into that. We're getting into the pillars, obviously. Whatever. I think it's Halmia referred to as Grace. That's
Mm-hmm.
probably whatever is related to Iris. Yeah, but what were the sisters trying to accomplish? Like, maybe we'll get into that more. But yeah, it's like all these big themes in the story are kind of like starting to come to a head, and I feel like that's kind of like what you were saying. We're not going to just be fighting bad guys this season. It's going to be a lot more like plot development and getting into like setting up for that final arc.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, like, really, really cool. I want to know... I hope next episode is what dives more into it. You know what I mean? Like, we saw that
And
Burns' subordinates, they're kind of on board. We kind of had, like, District 8, people, like, have, like, the reinforcements have come. Right? The two subordinates from Burns, go to the convent. They're like, yo, he's up. Like, there's something else going on here, right? They're not just blindly following, like, the cult, right? They end up meeting up with the captain from District 5, who's always been on the 8th side. Benny Morrow has finally like come out and kind of like, fuck it, I got their back. We sipped sake, we're boys. You know what I mean? So like the reinforcements have arrived. We have Captain Obi back. I feel like now we're gonna have a couple episodes of like learning, kind of like figuring out like what exactly is kind of going on, kind of building the story, and I feel like we're gonna start getting into the fights, and it's going to be immaculate. It's gonna be so 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 good, dude. We're gonna see more Benny fights, and I feel like they're gonna be the like whenever he fights, it is fucking outstanding.
Yeah, dude, Benny's definitely the best. And even Joker says like, yeah, he's like, "Are you joking around?" And he's like, "Well, you probably could beat all of them." Um, yeah, but I think the fights are going to be sick. I
Hmm.
definitely see a rematch with obviously Arthur and Dragon. That was pretty much foreshadowed.
Yeah.
So like a lot of these like end game kind of end of the story fights I think are going to be phenomenal. And it'll be really cool to see like how Shinra continues to develop too, because the Blue Flames, that was awesome.
Dude, that was like, I mean, we haven't seen that yet from Arthur yet, right? Because that's when their training arc with
Correct.
Benimaru, when they kind of like touch death type of thing. We saw Shinra tap into it, but we haven't seen Arthur tap into it yet. So when he kind of does that, oh, there is going to be a scene coming up, I guarantee it, where Arthur pops the fuck off. It is going to be, it's going to be incredible. I cannot wait for Fire Force this season. Fire Force is another one that I'm like eagerly waiting for each and every week. Like it is just so good.
Yeah, and like for not for the reasons you're like kind of used to with Fire Force, like yeah, Benimaru and like the fights and stuff,
Yeah.
obviously super badass, but it's gearing up for like what feels like the final arc. I'm not quite sure how long the manga goes, but dude, I cannot wait to see how it all plays out. And hopefully we spend like the next couple episodes kind of like formulating that plan and like the plot and everything. So we know what we're looking forward to because I'm really excited about it.
Dude, I feel like I really do feel like Fire Force needs like it deserves more love or more attention because people just look at it as like the fan service shitty anime. That's how a lot of people like view it, and they kind of like don't like it. I'm like, dude, like when I say it has like some of the best arcs, like it truly does. It really does a phenomenal job of mixing in like a great plot with a very intriguing story that is not some copy and paste bullshit. It's always like changing, always something new. It develops very well mixed with some of the most awesome fight scenes ever. The animation, the art is incredible. The sound effects is fucking phenomenal. You never hear about any other anime talk about sound effects. Fire Force is the only one. And then you blend those two together, and it's incredible. Do they have some fan service? Yes. Is it annoying? Kinda, yeah. But, like, I don't think that ruins the entire anime, because that's not what the anime is about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I think it gets a lot of unnecessary hate. And like if you're an avid anime watcher, like you're watching season to season, like multiple different shows,
Hmm.
you're used to fan service. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
get in almost every show to some degree. And like, yes, we get like, almost all those characters are like fucking 15 or whatever, 16. But that's just like what anime is. I feel like if that ruins, an anime like Fire Force, which there's tons to be like praised, the music, the sound effects, the fights are really good. Like the villains are cool. I
Bro,
don't know.
how
I'm
did I
not
think
sure how
about
big of a
that?
fan you are.
No,
You know
you're
what I mean? I'm not
absolutely
sure.
right. Like the openings, the Fire Force openings. Are you kidding me? They're literally some of the
So,
best. I didn't even think of that.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's might be the goat anime. I mean, Tokyo Ghoul is definitely up there, but as
yeah,
for like modern, like newer animes, Fire Force is probably the goat for OPs and closings.
yeah.
So many good ones.
I mean, yeah. When you think about it, Fire Force is only on its third season. Like when it comes to kind of like the newer kind of gen, I feel like it is one of the most like underappreciated of like its time. Like it's crazy how much hate it gets and how much disrespect it gets when it's like, dude, first of all, Fire Force is pretty fucking awesome. It really is. Like it really hits on so many levels. I mean, Soul Eater is also fucking incredible, but that's another. That's actually what's crazy. Do they not market well? Because Soul Eater is another incredibly slept on anime. Like, ain't nobody fucking watch that shit. And Soul Eater is so fucking good. Like, really fucking good. And it's the same universe.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I really don't know. Like I know Fire Force is probably more popular, but that's also because anime's bigger than when Soul Eater was released, but I never watched it, so I don't know. I think people are a lot more like shallow today. Like I've seen people like rag on the animation and stuff. Like obviously this is building up for what is like going to be a huge arc or like the preparation for the end arc.
Hmm.
Like there's going to be scenes that are like maybe, not perfect, but I certainly have no complaints. I think it's been great. The fight with Burns and Shinra was really sick. Um but like, you know what I mean, stuff takes longer to make. It's harder with like the quality and animation that people have come to expect versus what's possible in reality and how many like big titles these studios are juggling at one time. So yeah, I definitely think Fire Force gets a lot of unwanted hate. I get the fan service stuff, but like
Yeah, totally. I agree.
I also think that's like a critique. That's fair. But like Tamaki and like the other female characters are like being more viable now. They're like actually like decent side characters. So like that for me doesn't really hold that much water. But yeah, it's a solid critique. I just don't think that's enough for it to ruin a show unless it's like really, really bad. But then
Mhm.
you got motherfuckers watching My Dress Up Darling, so I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? That show's immensely popular. So get the fuck out of here.
Bro, Jabba's reincarnation. That anime
Yeah.
is
And that's really
fucking.
popular.
Yeah, it's super popular, and that anime has some shit in it that's just fucking gross. Like, not even like fan
Yeah.
service, just fucking like what are you watching? Like, you want to explain that to people? Like, what kind of happens in that anime? Like you don't fucking want to do that. You. But yeah, sure. Let's hate on Fire Force. Okay, well, all right, sure. Let's not.
And
No one's ready for that.
people will definitely be back on board once the end arc starts popping off and
Mm.
you know what I mean, once these fights like really start to develop, people will come back on board. But we know where you were. We know what side you were on.
Dude, I cannot wait for the season to keep going and to kind of like pop off. I actually don't know. I actually didn't look up how many episodes a lot of these are. Like, is Fire Force even getting season 3 list? Are we even getting of like a 12 episode season, or is it gonna be longer? You know what I mean? Like, I know the only one I know is that To Be Hero X is getting 24. Other than that, I'm not sure how many episodes a lot of these animes are getting. So
I
if
can't imagine a lot of them want to compete with like the stuff coming up in the summer.
I don't think that they plan for that, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think that's something that they know about, or they're like, you know what I mean, that they like think ahead of. Okay, yeah, it seems like Fire Force, and this is my anime list, which we've learned is not the best. It's not the most
Not
accurate.
100%.
Fire Force is apparently only 12. Windbreaker is only 12. We're gonna be talking about that again next week. My Hero Academia Vigilantes is 13. I do want to go back and watch that. I don't know how or when. I do want to watch that. Witch Watch is 26. That scares me. Not like I've low key dropped it. I need to get back into it. But that is an anime I don't think can compete. Um, where's the other anime I'm looking for? Oh, Go Go Loser Ranger. Here it is. That's only gonna be 12 episodes as well. Yeah, so we're kind of like
I,
halfway through a lot of these seasons. We're halfway through Windbreaker, halfway through Go Go, halfway through Fire Force. Same thing with Kellen Gemini Romance. That's only 13. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Next season's gonna be insane. So the ones that bleed over, good luck. And like I said, My Hero Academia Vigilantes does seem really good. The other one I keep meaning to say, guys, let me know in the comments down below. If you made it this far and if you watch this anime, Sword of the Demon Hunter. I'm pretty sure this is the anime I keep seeing. I think this is like a High Dive exclusive. I'm not sure, but I heard that this is really good. I can't tell if it's this
yeah,
one.
I've seen that was super popular.
Yeah, there's one that's kind of like this. It's super popular. Yeah, streaming platforms High Dive. Yeah, so I think this is it. But I keep seeing one that seems super popular. It's about a swordsman. And I just can't find it. So I think that might be it. But that one's also, it looks fucking incredible. If you guys, again, if you haven't seen it, let us know in the comments down below. Is it solid? Pff, shit. If I have to get another 7-day free trial, I'll get another 7-day free trial. I got a lot of emails I can use. Just saying.
Hell yeah. That's how you got to play the game, baby.
Yeah, it is what it is. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if we can say the word, but a certain site got taken down, I heard. A certain
Yeah,
ship
dude,
got
big
sunk.
deal.
Yeah.
And like I think I was actually reading something on that. It's actually like not advantageous because
Hmm.
if there was not, and yeah, I don't want to get too much into the evil sides of the business,
Yeah.
if you will. But like, I can't read Japanese or Korean. So if you're going after sites that translate or the people that translate manga, obviously if it's a Shonen Jump like Kagurabachi or Sakamoto Days, brother, we can wait till Sunday. But like some of the smaller stuff, like My Bias, there's no way. You know what I mean? Or you would have to like literally Google Translate each text bubble, which is obviously going to detract from your experience reading it. I think a lot those sites do like bring popularity to the title. You know, you're not going to get the revenue out of it, but I don't necessarily think it's all a bad thing.
I didn't mean that. I meant 9 anime. Apparently 9 anime got shut down. So it's not like reading, it's more like watching.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, like yeah, they're really going after like the I guess piracy, if that's
Dude, if you're
like the
shutting
streaming
down
site.
fucking the reading shit, that's fucked. because that's directly so you could say like, oh, it's not supporting because you're not paying for, but that's like giving popularity to the manhwa, manga, etc. You know what I mean? That actually eventually supports the author, because if it gets animated, well, they get paid. You know what I mean? It's what actively kind of like keeps it alive when you wouldn't have access to it either way. I can understand the watching because you have companies actually losing money. That's why, like, fucking Crunchyroll is bitching and complaining. Same thing with Disney. At the same time, expand your fucking library. You know what I mean? Half the time, they're not on non-anime because they're not, like, paying for your subscription. It's because you simply don't have it. You know what I mean? You can simply not watch it anywhere else. So,
yeah,
watch out, boys. They're after everybody. They're
and
on a
like
rampage.
for me, it's like companies that don't need the money. Like Sony owns Crunchyroll,
Yeah.
Disney owns Hulu, stuff like that. Like, come on, Shonen Jump is solid. You'll be good. People will still read.
Yeah, exactly. So it's unfortunate, but I'm really excited. Hope you guys are too for the end of this season, and I'm just so excited for the summer season. I'm also a little scared. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know how we're gonna like get through this. We're gonna have like 3 podcast episodes a week, guys. Right? We're gonna have 4 animes we talk about on the first one, 4 on the second, and 4 on the last one. It's gonna be great. We're gonna get through this together. Like, low key, that's what we'd have to do if we were gonna cover everything. We're gonna have a schedule of 1 week these animes, next week these animes, and have it like repeat. Like, it's absolutely fucking insane. Videos to come about it. But hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys are loving anime. Is there anything you want to say before we check out here?
I feel like everything's gearing up for an excellent end of the season. Can't talk. But like To Be Hero X, I think is super strong.
Yep.
I've been loving that. It's really going to be interesting to see how Go Go Loser Rangers plays out. Windbreaker's been fun. Yeah, we'll get back on that, after the interesting episode. But yeah, season's been awesome, and I think the pace and the build up for the end, like the finales, is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be insane. I'm absolutely loving it. Every episode, every season has just been dominating this season, which has been great. That's like the crazy part. The only thing I missed was T-Bait. That's it. Other than that, everything else, it's like the one thing that everyone really wanted to succeed, fucking shot down like there's no tomorrow. Everything else bodied. You know what I mean? Everything else didn't disappoint in the slightest. It's just all of it's perfect, except for that one thing that just horrifically failed.
And like I am in this boat. I will say this does matter. We literally said the only way it can fail is bad animation, and I guess in a lot of different ways, one bad aspect of a major part of like the whole puzzle can like really detract from your product. So yeah, that's I guess a little more important than I may have given it credit prior to the season. So
To be
sorry,
fair,
TV.
the animation, I mean, some of it was like a PNG that was simply moving around. Like, that's not even a
That was
lie.
bad.
Like it's not even a joke. It's not even like calling it like it was straight up PNG. Like,
It was bad.
yeah, some of it's horrific. Like, I think on Crunchyroll it's got like over 60,000 reviews and it's under a 4 rating. It's like a 3.8 right now. Like,
Damn.
it's got hit for a reason. But other than that, everything else has been killing it. Summer is going to be awesome, so we hope you guys are excited and ready. Keep a lookout for those videos where we talk about what's going to be coming out. It's going to be great. But anyways, hope you guys have a great week. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Hope you guys are excited. And that's it. Later, guys. Peace.